What's up, Beast? Bob here with brotherhoodofbeast.com, ChristopherBobRoberts.com, and today we're going to talk about why the experts are completely wrong when it comes to sustainable fat loss. Now, there are two different ways to lose fat. Either A, cut your calories to the bare minimum, starvation diet from day one, or slowly, gently, over an extended period of time, eat a little bit less or do a little bit more cardio. And that's exactly what the experts are going to say is the only sustainable way to lose fat. And they are completely wrong. They are setting you up for failure, and they are putting you on a highway to hell. Let me explain. My first business mentor was actually a bikini competitor. She trained people like women in how to build muscle and how to lose fat. And she would have these, quote, shreds, okay, where like 2 weeks you lose a lot of fat, 4 weeks, 6 weeks you lose a lot of fat. And that's what she would have her people doing. She would have her people cut their calories a little bit, do a little bit of cardio. Fat loss slowed down, do a little bit more cardio, eat a little bit less. At some point towards the end of some of these shreds, she would have her people doing 45 minutes of cardio every morning and every evening, 7 days a week, an hour of strength training 5 days a week, and taking in like 1,000 calories, less than 1,000 calories even. So that's an hour and a half of cardio, 7 days a week, 5 days a week, an hour of strength training, 1,000 calories. There's no way in hell that is sustainable. Now, full credit to her because she was a bikini competitor. That's what bodybuilders and fitness athletes do. They go ahead and they do a lot of cardio, they eat barely anything, they look good for one day, and then they go ahead and they start gaining weight again. The people that she trained knew that, like, hey, I want to do a vacation, a photo shoot, I'm getting married, I'm going to a wedding, I want to look good in like 6 weeks. How do I do this? Well, this is the fastest way for you to lose all that weight. Great. They don't care because they know they're going to look good, and then after the vacation, they're going to be fat again, but it's okay. Now, I don't train people like that. I train people who want to be healthy, to perform well in the gym, to look good, to be happy all the damn time. So it makes no sense to do this race to the bottom where you're doing more and more and more and more cardio and you're eating less and less and less and less. This is what I do. When you start off, I have you cut your calories by a whole lot and you don't even notice it. Have you ever had like a Christmas meal or like a Thanksgiving and the next day you're like, oh my God, I can never eat again. And like you skip breakfast, you skip lunch. I mean, it's dinner time, you're still not hungry because you just like stuffed yourself the day before. The same thing happens when you've been eating a lot and you start a diet, okay? Maybe you've been eating a bunch of garbage and you start a diet, or maybe you've been like healthy, you've been on like a bulk or even a lean bulk. If you've been eating a lot of food, you can cut your calories a lot and not notice it, but you will lose a lot of weight in the beginning. Okay, so what happens when you're on this starvation diet and you're taking in barely any calories and you're like, starting to get hungry in between meals, you're starting to like not feel too good in the gym, you're starting to get a little irritable, well, you increase your calories, okay? Because as you can see, the people who cut their calories a little bit in the beginning and do a little bit of cardio in the beginning have to cut it more and more and more and more, and it's a race to the bottom. But if you do that in the beginning, you lose a lot of fat and you can increase your calories and still be in a caloric deficit. Let's say you cut your calories a whole lot. And then, like I said, you start to get, you're hungry in between meals, you don't feel it in the gym anymore. Increase your calories a little bit, but you're still in a caloric deficit because you cut them so much in the beginning. So even though you increased your calories, you're still in a caloric deficit, your workouts start going good again, you start to feel good again. At some point, you're going to be hungry again. All right, fine. Go ahead and increase your calories again. You're still in a caloric deficit. At some point, what's going to happen is you're going to be at what used to be your maintenance calories, and you're still going to be losing fat. Why? Because I also have you doing more intense cardio. Now, I don't have you doing 45 minutes of walking slowly on the treadmill twice a day. I have you doing at the most a half an hour of cardio, but it's intense, okay? Let's say a couple days a week, I have you doing jump rope intervals. In the beginning, you're not going to be able to jump rope. It's going to be like jump, trip, jump, trip, jump, jump, trip. You don't have the skill to jump rope. You're losing a lot of weight because you're in a massive caloric deficit because you're on a massive diet, but you're not really losing weight because of the cardio you're doing. The same thing with the plyometric intervals, like the burpee intervals. You're not doing a whole lot of those intervals and you're not really good at them, so you're not burning a whole lot of calories. But over time, you will be able to jump rope consistently because you got the skill. Now you don't have the cardio. You can jump rope because you're not tripping over it all the time, but you don't have the heart and lung endurance to do it for a long time. So you build that up. Then you start jumping rope for longer and longer periods of time. You jump rope faster in that amount of time. So for every minute you jump rope, you're jumping more times. You're burning more calories in the same amount of time. Like I said, the same thing about your plyometric intervals, the same thing about your burpee intervals. You're doing more and more intense exercises. You're increasing them to an extent. But like I said, at the most, you're going to be doing maybe 20, 30 minutes of cardio a day. Maybe an hour of total strength and cardio combined every day, 5 days a week at the most advanced level. But you're going to be burning a ton of calories because you're doing exercises that burn a ton of calories. So like I said, what you do is in the beginning, you cut your calories a lot. You increase the calories. You're still in a caloric deficit. You keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Once you're at what used to be your maintenance, you're in a caloric deficit because you're doing a whole lot more work. You build some muscle, okay? You're leaner, which means it's harder to take the fat and use it for fuel, okay? So at some point, you are actually taking in a lot more calories than your maintenance used to be, and you're still staying lean, getting even leaner, and building muscle. There was a point when I was doing a workout where I was actually burning over 4,000 calories a day. I was taking in 4,000 calories a day and I was starving. I was actually bringing it up like 4,200, 4,500. I was eating in between meals because I was burning so many calories doing these workouts, and I was lean and I had a certain amount of muscle. So the bottom line is, if you go ahead and start off with a gentle diet, you are eventually going to be on a starvation diet. Whereas if you start off with a starvation diet, you are going to increase calories to the point where you're taking in a lot more calories than your initial caloric maintenance was, and you're still going to be staying lean, getting even leaner, and building muscle. If you're interested in figuring out how this works, I got a video. It's 7 minutes long. It explains exactly how I have you eat and exactly how I have you work out, that I guarantee you go from a dad bod to a top 1% physique in 6 months or less. Go to ChristopherBobRoberts.com, link down below this video, and you'll see exactly how to do this, exactly how I get these results with my clients, and you'll have a chance to work with me one-on-one. And I guarantee that if you do not get those results, if you don't go from a dad bod to a top 1% shredded elite physique in 6 months or less, I will continue to work with you for free until you get those results. ChristopherBobRoberts.com, link below the video. Check it out. I'll see you guys in the next video.